I have no idea what's happening.
The following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
What did we do before computers? I don't even remember. I have no idea. Especially when they're acting all dumb and stupid. What up, everybody? It's Friday. You don't normally see me on a Friday. I don't normally see me on a Friday. Special EC Radio edition. Got a full house today. Full stack show as well. Two shows today. It's gonna be fun. I love this shit, people. I freaking love it.
What up?
What up, everybody? Much love to the sponsors. So, thank you so much to Utica Coffee. Wake the hell up. Today we're drinking hazelnut. I think we're drinking. No. We're drinking pecan. Who's drinking? Do you guys like it? It's good. You gotta get up close to the microphone.
Wicked good.
It's delicious, isn't it? I love my friends over at Utica Coffee. WakeTheHellUp.com. Also, much love to Utica Hemp. See if CBD works for you. Stop in their 6 locations. One in Rochester now, Herbie. Joe Sweet opened a place up in Rochester.
Nice. I'm going to check it out.
You have to, man. He's doing great things. He's helping. He's turned into this like Sherpa shaman now, and he's helping people with their ailments. So it's really, really cool what they're doing at Utica Hemp.
Now, is he here or is he over there?
He's here. He's got... 5 stores now? I think I said 6, but it's 5. One in Herkimer, one in Clinton, one in New Hartford, and now one out in Rochester. Did I say Herkimer?
Yeah.
I did say Herkimer.
I'll be there next week.
And Utica. There's a camp.
I will go to the one in Rochester.
It's out on Park Ave.
Okay. I'll be there next Friday.
Cool. Awesome. Check it out. Utica Hemp. Check them out online if you can't get to their stores at uticahempco.com. And also much love to my boy Eddie out there at EC Radio Land, my huge AC radio supporter, I should say, EJA Moving Services. When it's ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his crew at ejamoving.com or hit them up 315-335-0516. I've got the Upstate Live crew in the house, the whole crew.
The whole crew.
Oh. Some of you people might remember Mr. Herbie 1.
It's me. I've been here and there for a while, but
making a public appearance. I love it.
I am. Yep.
How did we get him out of the house?
I know. It's only been 20 years probably, right?
I love it, man. This is great. Herbie, man, you and I go way back. Probably since like maybe I would say 1995 or 6.
At least half our lives ago, probably, for sure.
For real, yeah, man. Out in some random parking lot.
Might have been, yeah. Could have been backstage after a show, before a show, maybe.
And any of those memories, I don't remember whatsoever at all. Anyways.
The 90s were a little cloudy.
Yeah. Just before we got on, we were talking about our blackout years, and you fall right into the middle of all those blackout years.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Where does the name Herbie 1 come from? Didn't that come from Mo?
The name Herbie originally came when I was younger, even.
Oh, it did?
Was a nickname that one of my baseball coaches gave me, and that kind of stuck, and I never shook it. So by the time I was in high school, that's just who I was, you know.
Yep.
So the one part came, I guess, yes, from at one point in spring of '97, I had my passport. I was ready to go see fish in Europe, and went about the week before, went and saw Mo a couple times out in Northampton, I remember. And was just like, man, you know what? After a couple of years of doing fish, I was like, you know what? I just wanted something different. So I ditched my plans and just did 3 months of Mo Tour. I was the only one out there, of course. And all the way, I mean, their first Colorado shows, their first California, the whole thing out there. So I bought a DAT recorder and just plugged into Brendan when he was doing sound then, plugged into the board every night and just recorded and just. So
technically, you're the original moron?
I'm one of the. I'm not the original one, but I was the only one crazy enough to go on the other side of the Mississippi to see.
Your son's agreeing with me.
Yeah. So apparently I had nothing better to do, so I did that, and but that was also '97 was when they re-released the Star Wars. So before every Mo show, they would play the Star Wars intro, then the big thundering John Williams thing, and they would come out and do their set. So it was kind of the Chuck actually was Herbie 1 Kenobi, did the Herbie 1 Kenobi thing.
Ah.
And so he was technically probably the first one, yes.
Chuck Garvey was the one that
Chuck Garvey could actually, yes. And Rob had a different nickname for me, of course. He called me Danky Sir Doodle-Lot, he would call me. And I think that had something to do with the smell maybe in the back room there. Well, they were sound checking most of the time. So
great names. You should put that on the back of a jersey.
Yeah, so, I guess Herbie 1 stuck, it was a little shorter, so.
Chuck Garvey dubs you as the one, so he put the one after the nickname. I love it.
As far as like the Herbie One Kenobi thing, yes. But then when I started promoting, and this is when internet was, I think it was mail.com was my first email.
Yeah.
So I punched in Herbie, and it came out Herbie1 at mail.com. So, I mean, that was kind of it from there.
Yeah, at AOL.com.
Or whatever it was, yeah. And I did.
Hotmail.
Actually, I sent a contract to Michael Sanders, who was from Pittsburgh at the time, but he works for Madison House now. And the contract had Herbie1 on it. Or, he sent a contract that said Herbie1, and I just signed Herbie1 and sent it back to him, and that was it.
That's it. And the rest is history.
That's it. And I haven't been able to shake it yet. So, I mean, why try?
I hear you, brother. I've been stuck with Z for 25 years, too. I
why
can't
shake it?
So
Yep.
even my mom calls me Z.
There's a short list of people that call me by the real name, yeah.
Right, your government.
My government name, yeah. My paycheck name.
Well, your favorite name is Dad, though.
Definitely, yes.
Yes.
That's the one I carry with me for sure, forever now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the reason why you haven't been on the scene for a while. You're raising your family up.
Yeah, kids come first, family comes first always. So to do it part-time, I've done it part-time here and there, but that's a struggle because if I'm doing this part-time, then I'm doing that part-time. So
All in or nothing, right?
in or out, baby,
In
both
or out.
feet or none. Yep.
That's
So I've tried it both ways and just couldn't do it. And my daughter over there, Haley, is graduated. She's 19.
She's terrified to be in here.
It's a little early for her. She's
It's one of those.
yeah.
Sleep
so
till 3.
I work in a restaurant. I work at night.
that's right.
What restaurant do you work at?
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse?
Yep.
Cool. I can't believe how big your kids got. Like, I remember when she was born.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Barely.
And like they're adults now.
They definitely are.
Wow. When did that happen?
I know. My son here, Braden's 16 now. 10 years ago, some of you might remember at the Mowdown kids tent where he stood up and did the Santeria with Just Joe was on keyboards.
Ah.
And he signed up. They had the clipboard going around. He was going to go up and sing, and they brought him up there. And I forget who was doing the host was, but she was asking the kids like what their name was, and when it was his turn, he just grabbed the mic, said, "I'm Braden. I'm here to sing," and
Right.
so he did Santeria word for word. Of course, it had the whole. I mean, it was just we were like, "Who is this guy?" You know what I mean? 6 years old.
I don't know
So
about word for word, but
you did pretty good. So
This is right up your alley, Braden, right? Like you're into the whole social media, internet, radio, podcasting world, huh?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I love doing that kind of stuff.
So do you have like a gaming show yourself, a YouTube channel or anything?
Nah,
No. You should start one.
I don't have enough time for that.
Oh, you don't?
he's too busy. Yeah, it is. But at high school, he goes to Baker High in Baldwinsville, and he takes classes in radio and some video and stuff right now. So luckily, we don't. We had home ec and stuff, and he does stuff like this at school. So
Yeah.
not too bad.
Are you a gamer?
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like most kids your age are. Like all the kids are into video games.
a fair amount.
Fair amount?
Yeah.
He's
Does it
not
occu-
as bad as
I was
most
gonna-
kids.
Does it
though.
occupy a lot of your time?
He's pretty good about
You're
it.
good about it?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
He has a lot of other hobbies. It's not like he's on there 100%.
Well, what else you into?
That kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah. You also play horn, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I play baritone,
Baritone.
sometimes euphonium. It's really the same thing. It really depends on what ensemble I'm doing. So, and band just eats up a lot of my time, and it's kind of why I'm here. Because I was going to talk about it a little later, right?
Hey, you can talk about it now.
Let's talk about it now.
Could talk about
Marching
it now.
band, Rose Bowl. So
These guys are
I
at the
could
Rose
go into
Bowl.
this for half an hour.
Parade.
it's fine.
We marched in the Rose Parade on New Year's Day.
You both did.
Yeah, we both did.
A
We
part
both got
of a drum corps type of thing that you guys are a part of?
Marching band.
It was
marching
the
band?
high school marching
The
band.
high school marching band?
I was a senior when they announced the trip, so if you were a senior, you had the option to come back, and I spent $2,000 to go. So
Why wouldn't you?
yeah, why not?
So like every 30 years, they'll invite a New York State band to march in the Rose Bowl. So the last one, I believe, was 1990 before they did. So that was a huge opportunity for their school and for, all of New York State. And, they took advantage of it for sure. They did fundraising and all. And
Awesome.
just an amazing opportunity as a parent, even just to have them in marching band like that.
Did you make the
Just-
trip yourself?
No, but just the fact that they, it's a lifetime experience. I told them,
Yeah.
she had the option. She could go or she didn't have to. I go, if you, don't be one of those kids that says I'm not going to go and then regrets it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a shout out to all the seniors this year because I think it's really humbling. It's really cool to start your marching band experiences with the Macy's Parade and then end with the Rose Parade. So it really comes full circle like that to be in two of the biggest parades really in the country. So
Talk about the experience, though. I mean, getting there and seeing it. Was it your first time in California?
Yeah, we actually have family that lives out there, so
Yeah.
we got to see them a couple times while we were out there. But it was crazy. Like we were plane hopping. It was awesome.
besides the jet lag.
Oh yeah, the jet
jet
was
lag.
terrible.
How about the parade itself, like getting there,
It
the whole
was the
experience?
longest, shortest 3 hours of my life.
Okay.
Was it really 3 hours?
Yeah, it was 3 hours, and I'm in the drum line. I play a bass drum, and the drum line had to play the whole time between every song, during the songs. So it was like the longest 3 hours of my life, but it was so fast.
It was probably a workout if you had to
Oh
keep
yeah,
playing,
it was
huh?
crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow. And like, how long is the parade?
5.5 miles.
It's 5.5 miles?
It's like marching from our
Wow.
place to Walmart. So
It's like it's
Like crosstown, yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
Wow.
we went through 2 towns. We were marching across a freeway. Like it was like the first
Yeah.
the first turn is like over a bridge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because on TV, you only see the one section.
Yeah,
You know, they
just
just
TV
that.
corner on. Yeah,
But they cover pretty much half out Los Angeles, huh?
yeah. It's we go all the way through Pasadena, all the way down.
So in 5 hours, are you repeating songs? You have to.
We had a rep of, was it 5 or
it was like a cycle of 5 songs. So the one we did for TV was "The Heart of Rock and Roll" by Huey Lewis and the News,
That's cool.
and you know, I think that our band director, Mr. V, great guy. What else do you want me to say?
No, you're just a dork.
Well, he really chose it because the first verse talks about New York, New York, and the second verse talks about Los Angeles. So it was really fitting for a band to travel from New York to Los Angeles and play that song. But we also did
Good call.
Lady Gaga, right? We did. It's hard to remember. We did like
We had a Lady Gaga chart. We had
a holiday kind of chart.
we did like holiday tunes.
Shipping up to Boston.
Yeah, Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, and what was the other one? "Fast as You" by
Fish.
no. I wish.
Not
No.
yet. Not yet.
"Fast as You." Great. They're great shirts.
So let me ask you, are you totally sick of those 5 songs right now?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I can't even.
In the moment, for sure.
I
yeah.
can't even think about any of them.
Yeah, no.
No.
All that's it.
Now, as long as we're on the Beeville band thing, because now the pep band does the basketball games and the hockey games and stuff at their high school, but when the Syracuse pep band for the basketball is on break, every year they get a replacement band, and of course it's the Beeville band
Yeah, we've been,
every year. So they've kind of got, I'm sure the other schools around the area would love to have a chance, but like there's no way that they're giving that up. And it goes both ways. SU loves them, and it's just a lot of the they can't believe that they're a high school band. A lot of people. So
So far,
It's like during Christmas break. You
Yeah.
said-
during the Christmas break,
During
when
the
the kids,
Christmas break,
the college kids go home, but the basketball team still plays their games, and got to have the band there. So
Gotta have the band.
so far,
House band.
since I've joined Pep Band, we've probably done I've probably done something like 20 SU basketball games.
we did one on New Year's Eve. Was it 2018 into 2019? Right.
Yeah, I think so.
We did on New Year's Eve. We played for the game.
I think we did 1999.
Yeah, we
That,
did. We
that,
played-
that was a pretty good chart.
yeah, the songs they play for a pep band are great. I mean, it goes from the 50s all the way to
Oh, yeah.
modern.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they added some. Master of Puppets they added this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no
it's
doubt.
like, and then Crocodile Rock's next. You know what I mean? It's
Shout from the 60s.
yeah. I mean, it's just he picks such great songs. So
Braden, out of those 20 games that you've played, is there one particular game that stands out for you?
Well, they're all kind of a blur because they're all at the same place, but it's all against different teams. So when the SU team's having a good night, we're having a good night, and then when the SU team's having a so-so night, we're still having a great night. So we really keep the crowd going.
a lot of so going on lately, though. Apparently,
Yeah.
if you read the news,
Yeah, a lot of of course, but
can't win them all. Hey,
well, they're living by the 3, dying by the 3 too, though.
yeah.
That's the problem
So
right now.
well,
and they don't really have big man. But yeah, you
we could talk hoops all day if
I
you want
know.
to do that. Bring me in anytime for that.
We'll bring it up for
back
another
to
one.
Rose Parade for a second.
You can go back to anything you want, buddy.
Please do.
You're in charge of the show. That's why
I know.
brought you.
I know. Haley was talking about the drum line, but I wish I could say the same. But since I'm in the brass section, it's a whole different animal. It's an animal. So, to my shock and surprise and chagrin, I was the center of the line for the parade, which I don't think I've ever been the center of the line before. So,
Center of the line is a big deal when you're in marching
yeah.
band.
Especially when there's cameras there and they march right by us.
It's a big deal. to be
National
the-
television.
Oh yeah, There was a camera near the TV corner, and so when I saw that camera right down the line, there's footage of it. It was just really it was really the moment where I'm like, okay, this is happening. Like when rounding the TV corner, there's nothing else like it when
I
when
burst
you're in
into
marching
tears.
band.
I think I was crying when we went around TV corner.
Yes,
I was
Randy.
Like, it was the most full circle moment for me.
You're overwhelmed.
I was only in band for 3 years. I didn't join until I was a junior in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I play the viola. I was an orchestra kid.
Okay.
So
Are you playing music now? Since even though you're out of high school?
not really, no. I was thinking about it. I was almost in an indoor drum line this year, but no, I haven't had the desire. I've seen a lot of music. I haven't been making a lot though. No.
Do you remember when your dad used to have you hanging out in parking lots?
Yeah, I remember being 9 years old, like in the front seat of his car, sleeping like at 3:00 in the morning while we're driving home.
Yeah.
I also used to make her sing at every one of my events, though, like the outdoor ones. I would make her, and she would go up there and do the Star Spangled Banner
I
at
don't have to
least.
do that now.
And no, I didn't bring you here to sing today. You're lucky.
No.
And
You
But-
don't even want to be here, but I think you're
She did.
okay now.
at one of the at Fiddler's one year, though, at Fiddler's Picnic one year, she did the Star Spangled Banner, and then she did Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and had like just everybody there in tears almost. I mean, it was amazing. Probably the highlight of the weekend, really. Something like that.
I sang that at a talent show when I was in like 6th grade.
You've sang it a few times for me, so she does a good job. Braden goes up there and does his beatboxing, his hip hop.
You got some
His
beatbox?
when he was younger, he used to do the Joey Driscoll. He would go up with Joey a lot and play.
Really?
He did a Funk at a Waffle show, and he did one at Lemoyne too, right?
Randy Niles too, right?
And Randy Niles, a bunch of guys. He's
Bunch of guys.
Randy now super talented.
up at Scotty's. We'll talk about Scotty in a little bit for sure. Scotty
have to.
Palooza.
We have to.
Up at one of Scotty's events, Randy Niles, who played Utica quite a bit back in the day. Braden went right up there on stage, and they did like an improv song, 5 minutes, and Braden just kind of rapped about his sister a little bit, and
And just
Wait, can you
jamming.
freestyle, kid?
just freestyled it, man. And it was
Really?
and we're like, who is this kid? And Randy didn't even know him, and he just came up there and started.
yeah, and I just started.
Had his little rain boots on and stuff, and just went up there, and then was like, okay, I'm ready to go.
You want to bust something out for us right now?
I'm good.
You good? You sure?
I'd rather talk more about the Rose Parade. No, but
Well, it was a tremendous experience for
yeah,
you.
but there's
it's something you'll never forget.
Marching band is his life. This guy, it's really the day he joined marching band really changed our family forever.
Oh yeah.
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 It really did because
me
it
out of the
gave
house.
us some direct. Well, got him out of the house. In the first practice, I was going to go in with him, and no, I got this. I mean, he from the first moment, this was his gig.
It was clear.
It's clear. This is his gig. I got it. And
I almost wasn't allowed to join marching band because
like 4 years later, he let her join.
Well, because you didn't want her to steal your thunder.
It was his thing,
his
man.
thing.
It was his thing.
That's it.
I mean, I didn't mind having her around, but
Melissa Walker's checking in. She said she loved and always will remember the Randy Niles collaboration.
Absolutely, Melissa. Love you.
Good to hear from you, Melissa. Everybody out there in Facebook land, do us a favor. Click the share button to help spread the word of Upstate Live and the D and EC Radio and all the things.
I couldn't
here.
figure out how to make it live on my page. Sorry.
It's okay.
spread the love.
It's all right. We tried.
I know.
We definitely
I'm a
tried.
rookie. Next time.
But you're really not a rookie.
I'm a rookie here, though, but I am coming back, though, because I got another show in April that we're definitely going to come back and talk about.
Yeah? So you're getting back in the game.
I am, next year, Braden's a junior now, so my original plan was...
Now you got a street team.
I do. I mean, originally I was, going to wait till next year to... I mean, I'm completing something that I started 20 years ago, really. Mm-hmm. So, or longer. So...
Longer.
But he's like 16 going on 30 here, so it's, I got the bug to do it this year, just 2020. Everything just seemed clear, and
The kids are older now.
yeah, they know what they want to do, and I'm a Finger Lakes guy. I mean, I've lived in Syracuse a long time, but Rochester's my home, and it's time to get back there and do my thing. So.
Rochester's always had a rich music scene.
Always.
Always.
you
Back
know.
in the day. And all genres, too. Not just like the jam or jazz world or blues, rock.
Everything.
Hip-hop,
Everything. And really, for me, when I was her age, when I was 19 years old, I went to the warehouse, which, Water Street is what we call it today. But back then, that was the place you could go and see a band like Max Creek. I saw for the first time, and you could go see Marilyn Manson. I saw them there in the '90s. So everything that you could imagine went right through there. And actually, Peter, the owner, who ran the building back in the '90s in the heyday, moved to LA 20 years ago, and has been renting it out ever since. He rented it out to John, and then Adam from Funk and Waffles did it recently. And kind of at the low point there, the building was in disrepair, really needed some love. So he came back, he moved back, just because that's his baby, and put probably $1 million into it. I would have to bet.
Looks
Really?
beautiful.
And I went there a few weeks ago, and it's never looked better. I could not believe it. Couldn't believe it. And next Friday we'll be there for Max Creek. He booked him there, and I'm on board with Pete. I mean, he was the first guy that ever bought an ad for me in Revolving Door. So when I heard he was back at it, I was like, man, I might need to get back a year early for sure. So
Still huge. It's still got the upstairs.
Turn the mic a little bit so you can hear it. There you go.
It's still
this is Holly, by the way. Yes,
we
Holly
didn't even
Vander.
introduce
Sorry,
Holly is like your original street teamer, bro.
Holly is my right hand for sure. She, is whenever I need anything, I can always count on her
Yeah,
for sure.
she's another one that grew up right before our eyes too. Like,
Holly is the reason these two are sitting here because actually Holly and her family came to me years ago from OPL when I was running the OPL, and her uncle had passed away, and they wanted to do a benefit. So we planned a benefit, and we did it at OPL over the day before Thanksgiving, 1999, and that's
OPL.
when I met.
Past.
and you were like 16.
16.
She was probably 16,
I
and that's where I met their mother for the first time. So without that happening, they wouldn't be here. So
Wow.
So Holly has been in it from day one, for sure.
For real. You
Yeah,
did-
but Water Street is looking amazing. It's still got the upstairs. But he's finished everything over. He put in new lights for the stage and new sound equipment. It's gonna be
Dude, it's like $1 million bathroom in there. You should see it.
the
I mean,
bathrooms are nice.
if you've ever been to the bathrooms at Water Street, you will not believe it.
I used to just go outside.
Oh my God, it's like,
oh, terrible,
It was
terrible.
Dude,
a lot easier
I
just to
mean-
go outside.
Peter deserves like a big. I mean, I'm telling you,
Cool.
Rochester, really. I mean, and there's a lot of great clubs there. I
There
mean,
really is a great lot of-
Anthology Phil does an amazing job. What an amazing room that is. And Three Heads, of course. Jeff Dale, he's the Pied Piper of Rochester. I mean, the guy is just. I mean,
The Bug Jar still out there?
The Bug Jar, Tim Avery, amazing guy, doesn't get the credit he deserves.
So it's still open.
Oh my God! As far as bringing in independent music in Rochester, there's
Indie rock.
nobody ever will top him.
Yeah.
Amazing.
His list of bands that come in and out of there, it's
Just-
amazing.
His waiting list must be, I don't know how, I mean, he's probably booked so far in advance just because he has to with just all the bands that want to play there.
Yeah.
Still.
And Montage, that's a place.
Randy, oh yeah, Randy's still doing his thing, and Flower City, the old Milestones, Matt Green
Oh, wow, the old Milestones.
is back. Oh yeah, better than, as good as
Remember
ever.
that place?
As good as ever. To say better than ever, Michael ran a great show over there too at Milestones.
Yeah.
So I can't say better than ever, but Matt and his crew are doing, great.
Segue into Rochester, we got to talk about Scotty Palooza, our brother who passed 9 years ago yesterday.
9 years ago yesterday, yeah.
Wow,
Which is
it-
really the reason I'm here. I wanted to come in and talk about him a little bit. For
Chills,
sure.
I just mentioned him, so he's with us right now.
He's always with us. Every time I throw a show in at Range, he's with us. Saggy Palooza. Every man, anytime my feathers get a little ruffled, I can feel them. It's like, I love it though. It's that No Pigs thing. It's.
How did that get started? Talk about the No Pigs thing, because Scotty had a thing. You were his partner on that, or you just helped promote it?
No Pigs was all out of Scotty's mind for sure. And he, when he started promoting, he was really, the band Electric Zoo was from Palmyra, and he had, Anthony was young, and Jade, he was living in Newark, and Jade was real young. And so he had some downtime. He couldn't, I was on tour. I didn't have kids then. I was on Fish Tour, Dead Tour, whatever tour I could find. And he was home, so he had to do something to occupy his time. And Electric Zoo was there. And so he kind of became, from the guy that would help them with their gear and set them up. And then he would be the guy that helped them book a show. And the next thing you know, he's throwing campouts. And when Jerry died and the whole thing came together, he had already had a show planned for August. And It was going to be in Palmyra. They had a place for it, and he was going to call it Lala Palmyra, and that was kind of like the joke, we were going to call it Lala Palmyra and have a bunch of bands. So Jerry died, and the whole thing happened, and they found a spot out in Jungle Road, but it was in Newark, and it wasn't in Palmyra. So like, what are we going to do with the name, So I'm like, why don't you just call it Scotty Palooza? That's what they're going to see anyhow, Scotty. They're not, come on. I mean, you're the guy they're all going to see, so...
Palooza.
Scotty Palooza. Oh, I love it. And that was it.
And so that was 95?
And that was 95 when Jerry died. Yeah. And so the next year, 96, is when he threw the first official Scotty Palooza.
Okay. So the
out
first
in
one
Newark.
was maybe just a private party type of thing.
The first one was just a private party. Electric Zoo, Aaron Austin played, a couple other local bands. The light show was brand new there. The Andy's Groove and Leuven show was the Electric Zoo show then, and Doug ran it. There was a guy named Doug that ran it.
Andy had it synced up to their music, too, because I remember the first time I saw Electric Zoo at Sterling. It blew my freaking mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the light show went with...
It was just
with
right
the
in
band
sync.
originally. Yeah. That was part of the deal.
Right
but Scotty was the mastermind of it all for sure.
Yeah. The first time I met Scotty, for the longest time too, I thought his last name was really Palooza. And I used to think it was just this Italian guy from Rochester.
Well, we grew up in the same town, and he had some other nicknames before then, but we won't go into those.
Yeah, and then you think his name is Scotty, but it's not either.
Right, I know.
And you're like,
right.
True that.
He had that whole
Mind
thing
blown.
going on too. But what a polarizing figure he was on the scene,
Right.
and you could
Still
definitely-
is.
even
He still is.
9 years now, and like the loss still it hurts, But his memory is always with us, and he created so much. And did so much for the community and the scene. And I would love it if Scotty was here because he would love what we got going on.
Oh, God, yeah.
He'd be all over. He'd be here once a week.
At least.
Here every day.
He would probably he would have moved to Utica by now, probably.
I like what you got going, Z.
I tell you, I have some Scotty quotes on my computers at home. I always carry them, but just what a character. I mean, you couldn't create a cartoon character better than him.
Yeah.
Well, I was just telling Herbie on the way here that even though he's been gone 9 years, and that seems like a long time, the memory of him is still so alive that
Fresh.
it feels like it's just been a couple of years,
Yeah.
or it doesn't feel like it's been 9 years since he's been gone. And, it's like, I'm glad that his spirit is still here with us. It lifts up any situation. I can get a laugh out of something I did with Scotty almost any minute I think of it.
And there's so many to.
So
I posted.
so many
things.
I've been cleaning out my computers the last few days, and I found some pictures of, back in the day, hitting the 4-footer and stuff, and just some of the shit we did, man. Just unbelievable.
One thing that comes to mind is hippie girls gone wild.
Hippie girls. I almost wore the shirt today. I was gonna wear it.
Before we came.
I was gonna wear it, but I don't think I've ever worn it out of the house.
Same.
I mean, you know what I mean? And
Hippie girls gone wild.
one of his proudest moments is when he got the phone call saying that he couldn't use that anymore, and he was just like, yes, I made it. He made it.
That was awesome.
It was great. I have a floppy disk sitting around somewhere because when he came to the EC one night, we took pictures of all these naked hippie girls.
Oh, God. I mean, he could have
Still have it.
Dude, he would be buying a .com every week, I mean, if he really would. He'd have a new idea every week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely was full of a lot of great ideas, creative.
I'll tell you what, he definitely, I remember going over there, and he had, it's funny because Lee Crumpton posted that his anniversary for Leeway Homegrown Music Network from back in the 90s, the only way you could hear about bands, these newer bands, even like Mo were then, you know what I mean? Like up here, we knew about the C-Pods and Mo, but we didn't know about bands from down south.
Right.
So Lee Crumpton would have these samplers that would come up all of a sudden, and it would be like 9 songs from 9 different bands that were up and coming, and it'd be like, holy cow, how do we see these? So, I mean, bands like Quiver, I remember there was a couple,
Almighty
Foxtrot
Center.
Zulu, all these types of bands like that.
Love
where
the Almighty Center.
Scotty would get the CD and be like, oh, I got to book these guys. I got to book them. And that's how it really started.
We need to book
You would
these
get
bands.
He was, we were the first ones getting bands like that up here. We really were.
You were.
It was just the same old stuff before then. And it would be, and Revolving Door really started because these bands would come up and they'd be like, okay, well, where are we going to play? It's like, well, we can get you a band in Albany probably, and maybe Syracuse, and then maybe Buffalo. You know,
And give them a little
tour.
routing, and it was perfect.
and you give them routing, and they're all playing the same week. Well,
and then having them open it up for like Schleho or South
whoever it
Catherine
was.
Street, Jugman or whoever.
and then if as me as a promoter, all of a sudden I started booking all these shows. So all of a sudden I have to drive to Buffalo and drive to Rochester and drive to Syracuse every day, every week to do the promoting and the flyering. It's like, how am I going to do that? You know, and that's how Revolving Door started. It's like, man, I wish there was a paper out there that would go to all these places. It's the same bands. And you know, that way I could just run an ad in it, and then that would be it, and I wouldn't have to do all this driving. And then it was like, oh, well, maybe we should do it.
See, kids, let me explain to you. A magazine is the original social media.
Social media,
it's
number
a paper
one.
thing you flip through. You understand because you grew up in it, but to the other
I used
kids
to
out
carry
there,
bundles of those things.
Yeah,
Car,
social
like,
media was
week.
created campsite to
Like, one
campsite. Let me tell you that.
exactly.
Back in the day, hey, hugs and hand flyers. It's still my motto.
From parking, from car to car to car.
Dude, I used to stand right in line as they rolled in at Modown. There'd be 3 lines, and I'd have one person
on each of them.
one person on each line, and that would be it. And you know, back in the day, in the 90s, even late 90s, I could go into a club and there'd be 100 people sitting there, and they would get up and line up and get it like I was handing out bread at a food line.
I remember.
And it would be like
Me, a
they
fan.
would come and grab one in case I didn't have enough for everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
The original social media. And that's when you learned about all these bands such as Almighty Senator Schleho,
Right, 'cause-
Moon Boot Lover.
Yeah, because we would do like an interview, or we might have a CD review of them or something, and then it would be like, oh, and by the way, here they're playing here, and here this week, you know, coming up. So
And
that
you
was
would-
when we were doing it every month.
And you were covering the Nationals too, like Fish and the Dead and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, we would mix that in too, for
Yeah.
sure. You know, if you put Trey on the cover, people are going to pick it up.
Yep.
So, and then you go looking through the calendar, and it would be a calendar of and I would research it. This is before there was Jambase, before there were all of these most of these websites are around because they got a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jambase is Relics magazine. Those are all, the new Relics was formatted, you know, when they reformatted, they really didn't know what they wanted to do after Tony bought it. And Eric and I went down to a Disco Biscuit show to a Relics release party. They had like 20 copies there, and I went down with like 800 copies of Revolving Door and just killed the place. And the next Relics came out, looked just like the Revolving Door from the one I handed out, you know?
You don't.
But why wouldn't they? I mean, it was like, it had everything that you needed, you know? And I mean, they were close, but it just kind of gave them that, you know, and, you know, Pete Sparrow had a lot more money than I have, so.
And then
It worked out good for him, but I mean, it was needed on a national level like that, you know, and it was exactly what they needed, you know. So that's definitely been, you know, the seeds that we planted a long time ago, like Scotty and I, are, you know, they're still around. They've grown. They're big trees now, you know.
Oh yeah, man. The reason why I got into that whole scene was because of Scotty Palooza for booking Joe Mama and the Funk Daddy.
Joe Mama,
God,
OPL.
Bob, where are they?
Joe
Joe's
Mama.
doing the Utica Hemp Company now.
Joe's killing it. I'm representing
cool.
him today.
Yeah.
He's one of our major sponsors here at the D too. He's killing it. They're killing it at Utica Hemp. But yeah, Joe Mama and the Funk Daddy's playing at Sterling
Love that.
through Scotty, and like that's how that all became.
Scotty really, I mean, changed Sterling for forever out there. As far as he's still got the biggest show there, 2,000 people. I mean,
Really? Was that the one where he had like 5 stages?
No, that was he did the
slick
amp.
plate on that
I
little
don't know how
stage
many
at the
stages
side.
he had
It
at
was
the Sterling.
amazing.
His first 2 he did were in Newark at RK's place, and that was like kegs and shotguns, man. At the end, you know, it was kind of crazy there. So he moved it to Sterling and for 2 years, and it definitely grew. I mean, he was getting 500, 600, 700 people then, and then we moved it out to Buffalo for a year out, and that was kind of a wild thing. But during that time, Revolving Door grew. Mm-hmm. So by the time
What's
Scotty,
that, about 98, 99?
so yeah, Revolving Door started in 98, really, 97-ish, or 98, yes. Scotty Palooza started in 96. So by 2001, Scotty Palooza's in his 6th year. I was in like 6, 7 states by then with Revolving Door. It had gotten that big. So we were hauling ass before every weekend. Pennsylvania, we were going down killing every festival before Scotty. Didn't matter where it was, we were there. I was handing out papers. He would hand out his little flyers.
Well, you had his flyer right on the back of the Revolving
Right.
Door.
Well, most of the time, yeah, I would put it right on the back. So I mean, it was like you know, back then everybody had maybe their little hand flyer, and you'd find them all on the ground after a show. But man, I'm handing out 48 pages of it. You didn't find many on the ground because they're like, this is one. They'd walk by 5 guys with little flyers to grab my book.
Right.
And then after I did it every month, and they'd see me out there for years, they're being like, "That's the guy you want to get a flyer from."
They all knew you.
because they knew, and you know, and it was And that's I wasn't going to let them down as far as, here I'm not telling you to go, but I'm telling you where it is if you want to go. I didn't. I was just, and I gave them choices. Here you go.
You were the source, the live music source.
I was the
Pied
Piper.
Pied Piper. So
I was Johnny Appleseed.
So
Yeah.
about 2001, that puts us at the Amp at Scotty Palooza. Was that the biggest one he had? Was the one?
Oh
at the
God,
Amp?
yeah. So the Sterling one was 2001. That was Scotty Palooza 6. Okay. So that was the one that was close to 2,000 people.
Okay.
So
2002 was the AMP.
So
2002
next year
was
we
the
went to the
Amp?
AMP because there was no way that Sterling, we could do it
You
there.
out-
Dark
Through it.
Star Orchestra
So-
headlined that one.
Dark Star, John Brown's Body. I mean, Dr. Didge, all those bands. So at the AMP, 2,500 people. I mean, I worked the gate for 3 days. I mean, it was
That John Brown's Body set is like life changing for me.
Oh my
legendary.
God, that was amazing.
It
All
was
of them.
legendary.
It
night.
was
I mean, Wookie
amazing.
Foot. The Wookie
Wookie
Foot.
Foot.
Wookie
wasn't that
Foot
one?
too.
Okay.
They were
And,
cool.
I mean, if you look at the flyer, I mean, come on. It's
Yeah.
like if they had a Jam Hall of Fame, those would be like the first inductees, that whole group.
Who was underneath the parachute?
That was Wookie Foot. I was.
No,
under-
no, I
oh
know.
yeah.
Were
for
you under there?
sure.
I was in the parachute.
And tell
That
you
was
what,
amazing.
Wookie Foot like landed from Mars that night or something. I don't know. I
At
mean, it
every
was
show,
like,
though, that's how they
hello.
brought it. It was like a
but
circus.
That
Wookie Foot,
AMP
the
show,
circus.
I mean, greatest
He
show on
found them.
earth.
Scotty found them.
Greatest show on earth, 100 bands. I mean, and Scotty had a notebook. He was a notebook guy. He'd write everything in a notebook and rip the pages out and and he'd go through 4 notebooks. So finally he had the notebook down and we get to the AMP and he can't find the notebook. He's got 100 bands.
Oh no.
Well, Scotty, what are you going to do? We'll just ask him. Oh, great.
So any random
Right?
band could have pulled up
So-
like, "Hey, we're playing."
It's like,
Okay,
so
three-
Scotty,
You're on
how
the
many
third stage.
how many bands are playing at 11 o'clock on the main stage? Then you know what I mean, like all of them. So I just couldn't believe it.
Make them
I was like,
collaborate.
where's the notebook? Like,
He didn't find
Scotty.
it.
Dude.
What happened?
He probably ripped
It
out
didn't
every.
look bad. The show went off without a hitch. It was great.
Oh, of course it did. But he was just like that was Scotty. Like he just ripped out the page. Like, oh, change the. They
Yep,
call like,
I
oh, we
know.
can't be there at 8. Rip it out. Okay,
That's his
we're
arm motion, too.
He'd be redoing the lineup like halfway through the festival.
I lost my list.
Oh God.
You're doing great, Scotty.
Tonight.
I miss him so
Also,
much.
I know.
Yeah, I do. I miss him so much, and it's 9 years later.
DJ,
I
no.
can still
Same.
impersonate.
We got to bring up the DJ Scotty Palooza because he did
Shut
that.
up.
He did
Oh
that-
my God, my least favorite years.
Now wait, we did that. He did the revolving door cover with the DJ Scotty Palooza at Electric Company. If you remember, we set up his gear and we did the picture right with the brick behind it and everything.
It was
Of him
fun.
with the cover, and oh my God, that was just
Oh wait, I got a story
Epic.
about DJ Scotty Palooza.
Epic.
In your back room.
No, but there's another one. But no, the story is we threw that Soul Flow on that guy's property in Boonville. Do you remember that? Where
Oh, yeah.
had the beautiful crick in the back,
Oh, yeah.
and the bridge and all that. And so Scotty had the late night set, and not knowing that like the deputy sheriff lived next door. You would have thought this guy would have
Oh,
told us that
no.
the deputy sheriff lived next door. He had him up till like 5, 6 in the morning.
oh gosh.
And the
That was
cops
trouble.
showed up. Oh my God, it was so bad. The cops showed up and just
He had a knack for keeping
Brutal.
things going a little too long.
He did. He was infamous for sure.
One time I remember he was playing over and he had his DJ equipment up, and at one point he just decided to play this compilation of girls screaming. At like 1 in the morning, he was just ah. So I'm like laying in my tent nearby, and suddenly he's like, bring weed, bring weed. And so I get up and I grab my stash and I walk over to Scott and I set it down on the DJ. I'll give you all of this if you stop playing that. He's like, fuck you, Holly. Then he took it. Then the girl stopped screaming.
Oh my God, that's
Cool.
hilarious. Scotty was a polarizing figure, though. Absolutely hilarious.
And as long as we're talking about Scotty, I got to give a shout out to the kids.
Yep.
Anthony is an amazing. I mean, he's like my oldest. At this point, I'm proud to say, if he was my oldest son, I'd be proud as hell to say that.
Proud of Anthony too.
Oh, God.
he's doing some great stuff with his glass blowing.
Glass, yes, grade A glass works. If you got to look it up on Instagram and on Facebook. I mean, the kid is amazing, and
So beautiful.
Incredible.
and a young family, 2 beautiful boys and beautiful wife. I mean, just a glowing family, and finds time to fish somehow, and just posting pictures of these. The kids just, man, I'll tell you, just proud as hell. And then JD, of course.
Beautiful.
Oh God, I remember her since I remember her diving in the creek, chasing frogs at Scotty Palooza 2, and all the boys like going and her just like diving in there and pulling out frogs left and right. I mean, no fear. Like her father.
No fear.
And she is just doing great. She is coming of age. She's maturing and just and his two Van and Vina live in Michigan with their mom and. They're doing great too. So I mean, it's just amazing, that. I mean, someone like Scotty, when you have kids like that, how amazing they turn out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like better than my kids are better than me. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully theirs will be better than them. I mean, that's what we can all hope for.
That's it.
And boy, it worked. It worked with his. I'm gonna tell you, because I mean, Scotty was a good dude, but I mean, his kids are special.
Awesome. Much love to the whole family for sure.
Absolutely.
I got another
and mom too. Mom and dad, got a shout out to them because I love them. Sue and Tom.
I got another story. It just brought to my head. So I hired Scotty to be the DJ at one of our St. Patrick's Day parties at the Electric Company, right? But Scotty didn't play like your top 40 music, right? He was playing and that's the other thing too.
Dr. Didge type stuff, yeah.
Remember when he was like the first one to ever dub it Snowflake, right?
Right.
Snowflake Experiment.
Right,
and that was back like 20 years ago.
Absolutely,
With
man.
Rhubarb when he was doing the Snowflake Experience.
Absolutely.
And every time I hear that word Snowflake, I think of Scotty because I'm like, Scotty was saying that 20 years ago. So all you Republicans and Democrats that use the freaking Snowflake experience, Snowflake word, it was used already for years.
He's a legend.
Innovators and there's imitators. You know what I'm saying?
Scotty was way ahead of
Legendary.
Luckily for me and Scotty are on that innovator list for sure.
So I hire him for St. Patrick's Day to DJ, and he's not playing your normal music. And people are like, "Can you play this? Can you play that?" Finally, I think he had enough, and he gets on the microphone, goes, "What do you people want me to play, Skinner? You're the rednecks." That's right. I'm like, oh, that's a way to get him, Scotty. Right? He just starts calling them rednecks.
What a legend.
What are you people, rednecks?
Legendary.
So hilarious. He totally cleared that room, though.
Oh, I bet. It's like rawhide.
And there was a real party.
If there was
And then
chicken
there
wire,
was a real party,
Yes,
exactly.
dude, if there was chicken wire, they would have been throwing bottles for sure.
Yep.
And then one particular morning, he slept over the house after the family dogs played at the EC one night. And I'm sleeping, and I hear, Z, you got to get up. You got to get up. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. Oh, no. And so I freaked out, wake up, I get up, I'm in my underwear, and they're all standing around laughing at me. Like, what's going on? They're just laughing at me.
Right while he's
Legendary.
doing
Are you guys, did you even sleep? I mean, what are you guys laughing at me for? Just hilarious. I miss him so much, man. So many great stories.
Just too many to mention. Oh my God.
Too many. We could write
It'd be a whole show. Yeah, it would be like a 5-hour show just talking about him. And
if we should maybe get a panel together and document these stories. Get a couple people, Andy and a bunch of other people get together.
Well, next year at his 10-year, we should definitely plan ahead, and I'll come more prepared with some old promo. Yeah, I wanted to bring some old revolving doors and stuff, but they are safe and sound somewhere in the 315 right now. And
I have a stack of them. I was supposed to bring them to.
I have every issue of everything I've ever printed. The first revolving door was 50 pages. It was 50 copies on a poster like this. So it was a black and white poster folded in half, and it was 4 pages. And I handed out 49 of them at Milestones, and I kept one. It was on blue paper, and they printed them at FedEx. Well, it was Kinko's then, I guess. Kinko's for free for me. And I said, I'm going to keep one just in case it sticks, and I still have it, and I have all the other issues, too, that I ever made. So some of them are pretty...
too.
You can look through them and it's a timeline, really, of what was happening back then, of the shows, the bands, and the clubs like yours, your first ads were in that paper.
My very first ad was in there, even before I opened.
And before you opened, yeah.
I was putting ads in there before.
We were
not even open.
hype, man. It's all about hype.
We hyped it up.
Hype.
We definitely hyped it up. No one locally in the Utica area really came out like we did or ended like we did as far as the Electric Company goes. Who throws a big, full-on music festival for their closing party?
I know.
The Electric Company does.
Yeah.
Because most people just close and you don't hear from them ever again.
Now, yours was like 2 weeks long.
It was, too. It was like,
at least.
Oh, we're closing, so let's...
It was the whole month of April, I remember.
I should have closed 5 years ago.
I know it, right? And reopened. It was going out for business.
Yeah, it worked. It did, but...
Fun times there. But, man, where was Utica before before and after that. I mean, when Trips was around too.
Yeah, and
But-
I owe everything to Trips.
Yeah, I
do.
mean, hey, we all have our people that we looked up to, that got us started.
Who was yours?
Well, I mean, really going to Dead shows and Fish shows was real big for me. Going to Sterling back in the day when Phil did the farm party. I mean, Phil really is the guy that, if you're going to say Sterling stage, really it's Phil. Because Phil brought the farm party there. Phil brought the family there. Phil brought Max Creek there. And that was really what brought the heart there. You know what I mean? And it's really never been back since he, it's come and goes. It really, though, I mean, it was something special back in the beginning, for sure.
That venue is awesome. It's magical. I've had some magical moments in my life at that place.
Tommy, that's his baby, for sure. He...
it's a great place.
Yeah, I mean, that's a heart and soul for him. So he does what he can there.
I can't. You got to get the microphone closer to you, Holly.
That's where my uncle's ashes are spread.
Yep.
So it's really magical for me. Yeah.
Sterling.
Yeah, I went back there in the fall just with nobody there. And it was still magical. The
I'm hoping to
birds,
get
the
back.
signs, the
I'm
stuff.
hoping to get back this year. I haven't been in quite a while, so I'm hoping to get back this year, maybe
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, same here, man. I haven't been in a couple of years since the bar closed, but we were a sponsor for many years up there and get everybody up
Yeah,
there.
I promoted a lot of events there over the years.
We've
so.
all been there.
So many great musical moments happen at Sterling.
But I've been, busy.
right here, look.
Yeah, there. So it's. But yeah, I mean, things are out there happening for sure now.
Well, we got a couple more minutes. You want to touch on anything else? I know you made a list. The old man made a list. He's like, I got a list. I'm like, we're not going
I wanted to make sure that we had
writing
enough time.
stuff on pieces of paper and ripping them out.
We're not going to need that.
we definitely talked about Revolving Door quite a bit. The old papers. And it's just I did Revolving Door 20 years ago because it was really needed. Mm-hmm. Back then, and then the .com kind of thing hit and all, and then
kind of put you
Upstate
out.
Live, was kind of like a passion of mine. I kind of missed it, and the idea was good, but I really couldn't. It just wasn't right. I wasn't really in it for the right reasons too. At the same time, I wasn't in it for the same reason I did Revolving Door,
right? Which
was my love for the music and wanting to help bands and stuff. Upstate Live was more about proving to other people that I still had what I thought I had. You know what I mean? And
had fun though.
And
lot of fun
it was a lot of fun and it was a lot of work, but it was kind of I wasn't in it full. I thought I was in it with both feet, but I really never was.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've come back full circle where I want to. I'm starting a new paper. I have started one, and it's Finger Lakes Music and Art, and it's kind of what Revolving Door was in the beginning, which is when it started. It was just Rochester and Geneva and Canandaigua and the Finger Lakes, and I got down in Ithaca a little bit, and then I started going to these bigger festivals, and all of a sudden, I was getting calls from all these other states. Tim Walter and Gathering of the Vibes and Hookahville. All of a sudden, they want in. So it blew up on me, you know what I mean? And I rolled with it. But my heart was always in the Finger Lakes. And so I'm starting a new paper. I feel like it's time.
Nice.
And, I mean, if you want...
are you printing these papers?
Oh, yeah.
I'm printing these papers.
You're
So these will be just like Upstate Lives and just like Revolving Doors, but I won't be mailing them to 14 states. I'm going to be delivering them to Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, Ithaca, and in the middle there. And
kind of like how you used
Naples, yeah, and a hand to hand. I'm going to be going to CMAC. I'm going to be going to hand them out. I'm going to be going to these festivals. I'll be at Lilac Festival. I'll be at the Jazz Fest in Rochester. I'll be at, anywhere, Syracuse here, wherever. Modown, if that happens again, State Fair, wherever.
Mm-hmm. That's what's missing on the scene, though. Is like somebody out there doing the promo.
I mean, honestly, for me, my cell phone is that's a tracking device, man. I'm tired of being tracked. You know what I mean? I'd rather just hand out a paper, and I don't need that phone in the summertime. That phone doesn't define me in the summer. Maybe in the winter. In the winter, I can sit home on Facebook all they want me to, and that's fine at my house. But man, in the summer, I want a little freedom, and that paper always gave it to me, and it gave it to a lot of other people too. So
yeah.
So I'm coming back.
Physical copy you can highlight. And
yeah, I mean, it's
right there and print.
Hey, you know what? For every young kid that's going to look at me like I'm crazy, there's a bunch of people my age that are like, "Whoa, what's that?"
I actually,
and the reason it's coming back is because people want it back.
I have a funny story. I work with this guy who's probably 10 years older than me, who knew who you were before he knew who I was, because he used to live in Cortland, and Upstate Live was the paper about music and he came up to me one day about it and was like, I know who your dad is. And I was like, that's awesome. I don't know who you are at all.
I'll tell you what, before, Facebook and stuff, oh my God, before that it was, hey brother, hey sister, what's up? I had my little tricks. I would pull an ear, and if I didn't know somebody's name, I would pull an ear, and then they would say like, hi, I used to do it with their mother. And she'd be like, hi, I'm Megan, and then they'd be like, hi, how you doing? And she'd be like, I tried. And so,
Right.
and I would be like,
Yep.
so the Facebook thing has really put the name with the face to me because, I know the faces for sure, and I see them. And for me, my name was always in the book. So, oh, Herbie, and it'd be like,
Yep.
So now it's a little bit easier, but I just feel like, I miss that hand-to-hand combat of handing it out.
And more personable.
Yeah, and, I just,
Friendly.
a lot of the people that live out, not everybody lives in the middle of downtown, So a lot of people live out in the woods now. What do you think, Braden?
What do you think?
I think it's incredible. I'm gonna love seeing you out there.
What, you're not going to be out there helping them?
I'm sure I sure am.
High school.
Braden?
I didn't say that.
No, Braden's going to be in the office doing the editing and the layout
in
and
high
stuff like
school.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I mean, if Braden wants Photoshop, he can have it.
Yeah.
20 years
I'd like
later,
to
I'm
add
gonna be
something.
handing him
I know we only got a
still.
minute. But
Nobody heard you because you're not.
I said 20 years later, I'm going to be handing them out still.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you will be, for sure. You're a lifer, kid.
Okay.
I know we only got a minute,
Go
but
ahead.
I wanted to add something.
Go ahead.
What's that, bud?
I think it's really incredible.
I love this kid.
All you people, him,
Thank you.
and then the clowns. No,
Oh, we're clowns. I love
we're all
you.
clowns.
Yes,
We can all be kind of clowns sometimes. But like the thing that carried me through the Rose Parade was the adrenaline, I think, and I took his advice, and I'm like, don't even think about it, just go out there and do your job. And I think we went across the country to do a job and do it the most perfect we could. I mean, we did our field show at Band Fest at Pasadena
I've never yelled
City
so
College.
loud in my entire life.
Yeah, it was
So proud of
it was awesome. And then it's just the adrenaline I think carried me for like 4.5 miles until we hit the turn off Colorado.
It's probably the first time you ever walked 5 miles, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
In a row, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean we used to hike. I mean
Quite a bit. I'll tell you what, though. He, no excuses, no regrets. It's kind of become
Attaboy.
our motto.
I even
And it's him.
got a patch here.
He,
Band participant.
that
was
was
really
something
nice.
that carries with me.
And you got the pin, too, right?
Yeah, we
Show
got
him the pin.
We have
Got
the
the-
fancy pin.
the Bees Band, and then you got the Power of Hope. That was the theme for the Rose Parade this year, and it's a very nice message.
So
got-
we didn't mention Claudia at all.
Oh yeah,
So Claudia Wells was, if you know,
Nice
Back to the
lady.
Future.
played Jennifer Parker.
She's
Played
the
Jennifer Parker, who's the girlfriend at the very end there, and whatever.
beginning,
So
yeah.
and she wasn't in the other two sequels. She had some family obligations that she couldn't
Yep.
be in them. So she's like their biggest fan though. So she came and
It was quite a surprise.
did a fundraiser for him and stuff like that. So she's been there a few times to Baldwinsville, and then she met him out there in California.
He was there with us on parade day. While we
On
were
parade
working.
day.
Because
On
So they're rubbing elbows with Hollywood.
because we did a show for field band, I guess, which is really the main thing in the summer and like the fall, called Stranger 1985. So it's kind of had elements of Stranger Things and 80s pop culture, and so we played Back to the Future in one part of it, and then we watched it to kind of get in the mood, and she surprised us after, and it was very nice.
Yeah,
How
she was
cool is
wicked cool.
that? Did it
She's
blow
wicked-
you away when you met her for the first time?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And she's got
real human too, which is like so
and,
crazy to.
and she has a high end she started a men's clothing store years ago in
Yep.
California, right in LA.
Mhm.
So she sells like high end men's clothing to like
Design.
famous actors and stuff. And
Oh, wow.
at this point, she's like appointment only. So she just like books appointments, and now she's just going to these what do they call them, like the movie cons and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So she's doing all that kind of stuff now and picking it all up and just having she's kind of reinventing herself as well. So really cool.
Oh, there's one other nice story about Back to the Future too. So, we did our home show at our stadium, and we actually got some nice people, and we rolled out a DeLorean.
They had one of the DeLoreans from the movie
Yep.
on the field while they did their home.
Wow.
The actual.
Like one of the movie prop cars.
Yep. The drum majors were in it.
The
They
drum majors rode down
yeah.
to the field on it. Our band director's daughter was the senior drum major this year, so it's
Yep.
her senior year, and it was like a really big thing for her, and it was super cool.
Wow.
And I'm gonna add one more thing before I go, so I
Okay.
can stop talking.
Okay.
Actually, two things. I'm gonna shout out my boys on Instagram, Hot Tom Daily. They're very funny. They're very funny.
It's the best page on Instagram.
Hot Tom Daily.
Not
Yep.
Tom Daly. Yep.
I know they're gonna appreciate this when I tell them.
Picture of
But
this one kid over and over and over again. That's all it is. It's just one picture of this one kid.
yeah. And our marching band and our pep band actually were nominated this year for the
Sammys.
for the Sammys.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Go to-
Congrats.
Yeah.
They're in the final four. Go to the Sammys and vote for the
think
marching
the-
band.
People's
the,
choice.
The People's
final
choice.
Voting day was yesterday.
It's like
Oh,
But
music or
if you did
academic.
that counts.
Yeah.
so the marching band and the pep band were both in the final four. That's pretty good.
Still got a couple days. So
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. Congratulations. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Thank
vote.
you so
Go
much.
out there and vote for B. What's the name of the school again?
Baldwinsville.
Baldwin.
Baker High.
Baker High. So
Baker High School.
Baker High School.
It's the
Baldwinsville, New York.
Baldwinsville marching band
High.
and Plan B pep band.
Plan B is the pep band.
awesome.
It's very funny.
I love that.
Anything else you want to touch on before we bounce?
No, I'm good.
You had that whole list. You didn't even look at the
oh.
list.
I didn't know how much time we had. I thought we were under wraps here.
Well, we can
much
do
time
whatever.
do we have?
What do you got? What do you got on the list?
Okay, well, I do have a couple things. Okay, so the new paper's coming out in May.
Okay. That's
Okay.
Finger Lakes, baby.
And it's called Finger Lakes Music and Art. And you can get that on the website. It's flxma.com. So it's nice and easy. April 1st, I'm going to have a storefront down on Monroe Avenue in Rochester. And it'll be right next to Aaron's Alley. I mean, right next to Aaron. So we'll be having a lot of fun down there.
What are you doing in the storefront? Just-
That'll be called Art and Soul. So what that's going to be is I'm going to have my office down there for the paper and stuff, what I'm doing. But I'm also going to bring in some high-end art. So people like Anthony will be able to bring some of their high-end art. It won't be like a head shop kind of a deal. It'll be more like wall art, and it'll be sculptures, and it'll be glass, higher-end stuff.
Cool.
And then what I want to do, I'm going to bring in like a guest artist. So the front of the store will kind of be like a little studio space. So people will be able to come in and maybe for a week or a day or whatever and be like their day, and they'll be able to promote it. And, you know, people like Riley Smiley. There's a lot of great artists out there on the scene that have tens of thousands of people on their art pages. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and Riley and Skylar are a couple friends of mine. Riley does some, she does all my poster art now, and she does whatever, tattoos and you name it. So I'll bring in someone like that to come and do her art. And her sister Skylar does sculpting. I mean, she does like Lucasfilm type Yodas and stuff
Wow.
that people, I mean, they're just lining up to buy, you know. So it's, these artists really need an outlet to not so much make them, but to, like, you know, try to make a living off
They
it.
need a venue. Yeah.
They need a venue to sell it, you know, somewhere where that's, you know, somewhere that'll cater to that. And for me, it's going to be my office space. So if I can help them sell something and it helps them, then it's going to help them, you know, it's going to, so.
Awesome.
So that's what I would like to do. Hopefully, you know, turn it into something like that.
Pop
and I
this
just
back
love
on the scene.
And then I'll be next to Aaron's Alley. I mean, Aaron's my homeboy, you know. So, and Jen and her crew, you know. I mean, I just love them. So, the closer I am to them, the better.
Awesome. Always staying busy, man.
Yeah, I'm like the Lone Ranger, though. You know what? You look back, it's a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
You never know where I'll be next. So,
It's true. What about you, Holly? What do you got planned? You just keep helping her?
Holly is. As far as Finger Lakes Music and Art, she is as big. The only reason I'm really doing it is because of her too. Because without her, I wouldn't even. Without her, I mean, God, I mean, who's going to email all these people, and you know, and who's going to collect all their ad payments and stuff like that? I mean,
Well, I've been raising
No.
kids too. My oldest is graduating this year. He's 17. Yep.
you serious?
Yep, I'm serious. So I've been busy with the kids, and I do a lot of community service. I'm with the Girl Scouts and all the school stuff. But Herbie has got me out of my slumber here. He just messaged me and was like, hey,
do
let's
this.
do
Time.
this. And I was like, yes, I'm so ready. My kids are getting older, and I have been stuck in the house
you know,
for 10 years.
the one label, the Herbie One label, the one bad part about it all those years was that it really was Herbie One. It was like I did it all. Like
You were a one-man team.
I'm a one man team, and it was hard for me to give up the reins because then I would end up having to circle around and do it anyhow. Sometimes, you know what I mean. So I over the years, though, you find out who is good and who, you know, is what they're good at, what they can help, and you know, as far as Holly goes, I mean, I could give her 100 things. You know what I
Herbie's a
mean?
visionary,
And
though. I mean,
I could give her
follow
100
a
things to
visionary.
accomplish, and she'll get them done before she goes to work in the morning.
Or
So,
at work.
or at work, yeah, in the stairway or wherever. So, just good people. You put good people around, it gives you confidence to go out there and do it again.
Yeah, it's important to have a good team around you.
lift
I
But
do.
it's also
each other up.
important to delegate and also loosen
Oh, yeah.
up the reins
Yeah.
a little bit too.
It is, but over time, that's how you find out, who you got.
Indeed.
And some of my worst shows is when I found out who my best people were. Because I get a little rain too. I'm an outdoor guy, so when I do an outdoor show and it rains, that's trouble. It's trouble. Doesn't matter what happens. It's trouble. People get, usually rain, bad weather is coming from bad energy. Usually people are a little bit, freaked out. So you got to deal with all that and deal with mud too sometimes. So it's tough. So, but you find out who's on your side and who's not.
What did you call it? Sloppy Palooza?
Soggy.
Soggy
Soggy Palooza was one of his many nicknames. Yeah.
But I mean, after all these years, look at the hearts that are sitting here today. We got Hervey, we got Z.
That's
we got
right.
Kids that have grown up all full of heart.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, patience,
Like
right?
the lights
Yeah.
are still there, and the music
Absolutely.
excites me. It
And
really does.
it's like these festivals. I'm planning a couple outdoor camping deals. One I've been doing Fiddler's Picnic for a couple of years. It's really has a great vibe. It has that family vibe that I'm looking for. You can bring you can bring the little ones, and so I think I finally found a good home for that. We're gonna go look at it again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have some news on that pretty soon here.
Well, keep me in the loop, man.
I will.
Please come back. We got to talk hoops and talk baseball too.
Ooh, I can talk National League all you want. I don't.
We'll talk
I don't
Cardinals.
talk
Get
softball
him started on
much.
baseball because he'll never.
National League. Well, I got to
he'll
tell
never
you,
stop talking to you.
dude. If you want to talk baseball right now, then as a Cardinal fan,
Oh jeez.
I'd rather see the Reds win than the Cubs. So I mean, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
We'll have to bring you back.
It's
on that.
close though on that one.
As you can
coming.
see.
With pitchers and catchers, or actually,
they're in.
the games start today. I think the Yankees are playing today.
There's I think video games here start today or tomorrow, like actual
yeah,
preseason. games.
preseason games, spring training.
Yeah.
Braden, give your Instagram a plug.
Yeah, we're all pretty busy bees.
I'll give his marching band. You can go to beesband.com.
Beesbands.com.
Bees-
What about your
Beesbands.com.
Instagram though? You want to
it's-
plug your stuff?
Yeah, it's Braden V22. Brayden V
22.
22.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow you.
Yeah.
We're gonna be buds.
Excellent.
I have a
Okay.
singing the national anthem on my Instagram, but that's it.
Haley, do you want to
Yeah.
plug anything?
No.
No. Do you feel better now?
No.
No, you're still frightened by being here.
I'd love to jump out of this chair and run out.
Haley's ready for tea and cookies. I think.
Yeah. Find me on Facebook too.
Well, the one thing is to go to Upstate Live on Facebook and
Yep.
click the like.
Right.
Are you on
Now-
Instagram as well?
You
should.
I'm Herbie one is on there. I do. I mean, I got to do more pictures. Yeah, I got.
The last picture is from our vacation to Myrtle Beach in 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good. That
Myrtle
was a
Beach.
good
That was good.
vacation, though.
Yeah,
That was
it's a
good.
picture of me and
I do got to give one more shout out.
Of course.
Pay It Forward CNY.
Yep.
Okay, is a group.
the best Facebook page.
Is
Awesome.
a group in that Carrie Courtwright, a friend of mine, does, and she. I mean, it's like 9,000 people on it. It's only been around for a couple years maybe. But basically, it's just like it sounds like. Pay it forward. So if somebody needs help and they need, they're in a bad situation, they could do some clothes for their kids or something. They can post, hey, without being judged, hey, I need some help, and people can say, hey, I want to help. And
Yep.
if people decide that they want to judge, she quickly gets on there and says, that's not what this is about. So I've known her for a while, and now that I'm getting back into the music thing, she approached me and said, hey, we should do an event. And I said, fantastic, I'd love to. So we put it together an event, and it's going to be at Thorndon Park, right at SU, on April 25th on Saturday. And it'll be a daytime thing where people can come. They can bring the families. If the weather's good, they can hoop, and we'll have games, and we'll have vendors, and we'll have live music. And we're going to ask for donations, and everybody's going to give their time for free, and we're going to give the money away. And hopefully it's something that we can continue to do a couple times a year at least. So
Excellent.
every show I do pretty much moving forward is going to be a fundraiser of some sort. I mean, it just, if you're going to bring people together, I mean, what a perfect time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, if you're if I'm throwing an event and I'm charging $100 for a ticket and I get 1,000 people there that are willing to pay $100, I'm sure that they can afford to bring $20 worth of food too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's important to give back.
And why not? You know what I mean? I mean, what a perfect opportunity to do that. So, locally, I mean, I just feel like that unless there's a cause like that, I'm not even sure I'm interested in helping. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To go into these bars and just help them, sell beer, that's not what I'm into anymore. So
One
I
of
hear
our
you.
favorite things to do as a family is help other people.
help, yeah. I mean, that's it at Christmas. I mean,
We bought Christmas presents for
Yeah.
the family this year. We did. I was working at Kohl's
Awesome.
as a part-time over the Christmas break thing. And I bought toys with my discount, and I got their mom a
she got to play Santa this year,
I
and
got
it was
to play Santa for the first time.
it was probably the best Christmas she ever had.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's better than getting them. You know what I mean? Better than getting them.
It
Yes.
is.
So
You feel better about yourself, that's for sure.
So, I mean, when you can, God, we gave away at one of the fiddlers, we gave away a couple £100 worth of food, you know what I mean, to the local.
that.
This is a little Wayne County, little town where we probably doubled their food pantry for the week, you know what I mean? So that was a good feeling.
Yeah.
Very
I think the best thing about marching band is that you get to play your
And
instrument.
marching band.
We have to go back to
One
it.
track
It's
mind.
important. That's all I'm thinking about when we're talking about community. But why I'm in marching band is because I get to play my instrument and that I get to play it with other kids and for people, for the community, for all kinds of communities. I mean, we do
You do the boxing parade.
Canastota.
You
Yep.
sure they do the boxing parade every year.
We do
Do
the St. Pat's parade
St. Patrick's
coming up.
Veterans Day.
Patrick's Day parade is
Let me tell you what, they'll do the Veterans Parade and the St. Patrick's. It could be 20 degrees out, and these other bands
Yep.
will cancel.
We've done it in like negative 15.
one
They don't
year-
cancel.
One
Never.
year before I was in band, I used to take pictures of them. I was like the resident I was their biggest fan essentially. And my
Still
camera
is.
shutter froze because it was so cold, and they were marching, and my camera shutter froze while I was taking pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's not even a question.
yeah.
Done a Buffalo Bills
Unless
game
unless it's light.
before. So, you mean really cool stuff. And now we just did the Rose Parade for, thousands of people there and millions on TV. So it's nice to get some recognition once in a while.
Support your local marching band. Tell
Absolutely.
them
Support,
Support.
support your local marching band.
Exactly.
The Sammys, too.
And the
Yeah.
Sammys. Good luck on the Sammys. People
Thank you
could
so
still
much.
vote for you guys on the Sammys.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
It'd be
certain for
funny-
the website.
It'd be funny because we have two of the four. Two of the bands are from us. So it'd be
Yeah,
funny if
two
the
of
final
the-
two were just us.
Two of the final
They're-
four.
They're
we're,
fighting
we're
each
half
other
of it.
for the finals.
We're
yeah.
50% of the final
Yeah.
four.
It's great. And go Bees.
There you go. You guys are awesome. And good luck with the
Yeah.
marching band.
Thank you so much.
Herbie, you got to come back. We got to chop it up and talk hoops and anything
I
you
will.
got going on.
I'll come back in a couple months and we'll talk more about that Pay It Forward show.
For sure. I would love to do that, actually. In fact,
Okay,
that's
I'll bring
something-
Carrie in and we could do that.
I would love to do that, actually.
She's got a great story to tell too. She was at SU. She just won the Unsung Hero Award
Yeah.
at SU. So she has a great story. It'd be a good show.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming down. This has been a lot of fun. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
yeah.
us.
Kids, you guys are all grown up. And
Incredible.
that's how you tell how much time has gone by when you see your friends' kids grow up.
Yeah.
You know? You can
Yes.
tell we're getting old, pal.
Yep.
Yeah. Getting
Every day.
We're definitely getting old. Thank you so much to Saranac, Utica Hemp, EJA Moving Services, and of course my friends over at Utica Coffee. And I'm coming back in just a little bit. We're going to get some legal advice with Dave. You guys stick around. Thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Go Bees.
Now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.